after the changes in the latest budget to include any unused pension pots in the value of the estate for inheritance tax purposes, the big question arises: should I leave my unused pension pot to my children, or should I leave it to my spouse? The short answer is, in almost all cases, you want to leave it to your spouse. The reason being that any pension pot given to the children will eat into your £325,000 nil rate band, whereas if you give it to your spouse, there's no inheritance tax to pay. They can gift it to your children, so it's a potentially exempt transfer, and it will be subject to the 7-year rules. So potentially, if the second person in the partnership survives 7 years, there'll be no tax to pay. But if you give it directly to your children, then it is definitely not exempt. Say you've given them a £300,000 pension pot, then that is £300,000 off the nil rate band for that spouse. And that means instead of the normal 2 times 325k, which equals 650k, that you get for the nil rate bands for inheritance tax, you will only get, when the second person in the partnership dies, 325k plus the 25k, so 350k. So there'll be extra 40% of the 300,000 in tax to pay. That's an extra 120k. So you definitely don't want to leave your pension pot, unused pension pot, to your children. Now there's another point in leaving it to your children. If you do that, there's going to be an administrative nightmare. This change is still going through consultation, but it looks like the pension companies are going to be asked to pay out of the pension, that 40%, directly to HMRC. Now that means the executors are going to have to do some pretty quick work, get all the values together, communicate with the pension companies so that they know how much to actually pay to HMRC. Now, the pension companies, their customer service is notoriously bad if you ever had anything to do with them. So potentially this is an administrative nightmare as well if you leave it to your kids, as well as big financial loss for them. And it's doubly important too, because prior to this change, it was a sensible thing to leave it to your children, because the unused pension pot was outside of inheritance tax. So obviously it was a sensible thing, but now that has changed. But a lot of people will not have caught up. They would have done the sensible thing prior to the change, but unlikely they would have caught up just yet with the change. Now I must say, this is not coming in until April 2027. So a few things could happen between now and then, so there's no need to panic. If someone dies before April 2027, there's no change. Basically, the pension is outside of inheritance tax. Well, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this little update. Bye.